Hello, I'm Molly Stanberry and welcome to MacMost, the video podcast that shows you how to get the most from your Mac, iPod, Apple TV, and iPhone. This week in the news, Apple announced that it has sold its 100 millionth iPod. That works out to be an iPod for 1 in every 3 people in the US. Total domination is further enhanced by the iTunes Music Store, which has sold over 2.5 billion songs, 50 million TV shows, and over 1.3 million movies, making it the world's most popular online music, TV, and movie store. If the Speaker of the Michigan House has his way, Apple could add every child in Michigan to the list of iPod owners. As part of the state's proposed education budget, every child would receive an iPod to aid in learning. Several universities have already instituted programs which allow students to play back lectures on their iPods. PC Magazine reported that an unnamed Fortune 500 company is considering Macs for mainstream enterprise deployment. That means the suits as well as the art department will be using Macs. For more on this story, we have D.A. Mann with us today, a representative of one of the biggest Fortune 500 companies, Big Co. Incorporated.
Hello, Molly.
Hello. I understand that your company recently switched to Macs.
Yes, we've actually made the switch, which is funny because we actually make switches. One of our 475 divisions is a manufacturing plant for light switches in Ohio.
475 divisions? So how many employees is that?
More than 790,000 employees, Molly. We've got 3,000 in payroll, just to make paychecks for the other 787,000.
Wow. And they all use Macs now?
Right. Well, we've got one guy in waste disposal that won't give up his TRS-80, but other than that, all Macs.
So how exactly did you go about ordering 790,000 Macs?
Just went to the Apple Store website and ordered 790,000 20-inch iMacs. Good thing they take American Express.
Indeed. So what have the results been since switching?
Well, we've had a 15% increase in productivity. Strangely enough, this has to do with the fact that Macs don't come with Minesweeper and Solitaire installed.
Any other changes that you've noticed?
Yes. Well, every Mac comes with iLife, including GarageBand. Since switching, our accounting department has released a progressive rock album that has gone to number 17 on the charts.
Any downsides so far from switching?
Yes, because we no longer have 3 to 5 reboots per day, as we did with Windows. There's not as much time for coffee breaks. And some of these people get really grumpy if they don't get their coffee. Oh, and we've had to lay off the 720 people in our IT staff that dealt with computer viruses. No need for them anymore. But we've set up an emergency pension for them and they're undergoing counseling.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mann, for the information. Don't forget to tell them all to subscribe to the MacMost podcast.
Using your Mac's speech feature is handy for proofreading a document or listening to news on your Mac while getting dressed. To have your Mac read you text from a website like MacMost.com, select System Preferences, and then Speech. Next, check the Speak Selected Text when the key is pressed, checkbox and then press the Set Key button. Choose a key combination such as Command-Control-S, and then press OK. Next, choose a voice. I like Bruce, because it sounds like Stephen Hawking. Now go to a web page and select some text. Then press Command-Control-S to have Bruce read you the text. A quarter of teenagers in the US say they are prepared to shell out $500 for an iPhone when it launches in June.
Hi, I'm Gary from MacMost.com, and today I'm going to show you how to add bookmarks to your Safari menu bar. You can see here there's already some that come with Safari, but you want to add some that are the most commonly sites you visit. So, for instance, if you visit just mahjongsolitaire.com, you can just drag the URL from the address right there and drag it into the bookmarks bar. And it asks you to name it. So you say OK, and then it adds it right there. You can also control and click on it, and you can open it in a new window or in a tab. And you can also edit it. So I'm going to edit the name here, and it takes you to the menu, and I'm just going to change it to something shorter, because I have limited space in that menu bar and I want it to be nice and short so I can add as many bookmarks there as I want. I can go back and I can see it's there. Let's go to another site. And let's add that one as well. This time, I'll go ahead and change the name right off the bat. If you ever want to edit this and say move around the order that they're in, you can go ahead and open it by clicking on that, choosing Show in Collections. You can see it there, and then here you can drag it around and move it inside of folders or just in a different order. So now you can see it automatically updates here, and it's moved just Saul over that side. You can move it right. Above it is a little difficult. You have to move it just to the left like that, and you can see it put it like that. And there you go. You can also create some folders in here and actually add a folder like that by pressing the plus button that you can't see at the bottom of the screen, and create a folder like that. Drag these guys in, and now you've got a handy menu here where you can choose either one. So that's how you create handy bookmarks in your Safari menu.
Our featured podcast for this week is Goodnight, Burbank. It's the podcast that shows you what really happens behind the news.
A Florida boy who has lost his hair to chemotherapy is selling ad space on his head. I think he should give a call to Rogaine, because when his hair grows back, it's going to look like a freaking miracle worker.
A Muslim woman is alleging a civil rights violation after complaining her afternoon prayer was interrupted by another patron of the Fitness USA gym she was praying in. David Michaels has the story.
Can't people pray wherever they wish?
Excuse me, Ms. Producer? Why are we highlighting the plight of that Muslim woman?
Huh?
Well, if people belong to a religion where they need a big hoo-ha before they can pray, then maybe they belong to the wrong one. I don't think she has a leg to stand on.
That's okay. They kneel.
Kelly, believe it or not, some people need to do a little more than just cross themselves to be closer to God.
MacMost Loot is our contest segment, where we come up with an Apple-related question or challenge and send a randomly drawn winner a prize. This week's challenge is, on what date did Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak found Apple Computer? Send your answers to loot@macmost.com. Thanks for watching the MacMost video podcast. If you want to contact us, have an Apple-related product you'd like us to review, or would like to sponsor an episode of MacMost, you can email us at videopodcast@macmost.com. Make sure you visit our website for the latest news and to vote on the stories that you think are the most interesting. We'll also be posting tips and tutorials on our site throughout the week. This is Molly Stanberry for MacMost. I'll see you next week.
Did you know there are thousands of children in Michigan without iPods? And did you know that for less than a DRM-free download a day, you can help these children who are starved for the sound of their teacher's voice in their earbuds? Send your contribution to the Michigan Children's iPod Fund, and we will send you a picture of that student that you helped sponsor listening to their iPod. And remember, you will be helping to educate them against the dangers of Zunes.
Send your answers to loot@macmost.com. Send your answers to loot@macmost.com.